Hi, this is Brian Aldrich from Fourth Street Software. Today I'm going to show you how to use the team maintenance screen for the 4th Street baseball game. So I'll go ahead and start up the program here. And I'm going to load up the 2015 season. One of the ways to do that is from the Open File toolbar. Or I've already done this, so I'm going to just open it up the easy way. Similarly to what you would do with a Microsoft Word document. Alright, here we go. This is the opening screen. Now, this little button right here is the team management screen, or sometimes I call it the draft screen or draft button. Looks like a puzzle. Your team is put together, look kind of like a puzzle. And let's play around here with a little team. Maybe we'll work with Minnesota, since that's the one I'm most familiar with. So I'll go ahead and click on Minnesota and choose this. Okay, and you can see Minnesota's 2015 roster is listed right here. You'll see some of these guys are checked, some of them are not. It just depends upon if they were used in that time frame or not. You can change this to whatever you want. If you look down here, you'll notice that my roster is a little bit on the incomplete side. I only have one catcher, so I should probably find a backup catcher here. To make it a little bit easier to spy them or spot them, you can click on this button and you can see there's a couple other options here. Now altogether I've got 25 players, so that means if I add somebody like Mr. Herman here, I now have 26, so I'm probably going to have to take somebody else off the roster, like Mr. Arcia. So we'll do that, and now we're down to 25. Okay, if you look on the left-hand side, this is the league pool of players. All the players from this season are listed here, and I can sort through those in several different ways. One of those is just to click on the letter of their last name, first letter of their last name. So let's say I want to find somebody named, I don't know, Sano. I can click on here, and Sano is probably a little bit down further. Apparently there are a lot of Sanchez's that season. So here we go, there's Miguel Sano. If you hover your mouse over a player's name, you can kind of get a little bit of insight into what their statistics were for the season. Here's Mr. Santana's right below his. A little bit of a disappointing season there for him by the looks of it, but not as disappointing as Mr. Danny Santana, a little bit below there, which we got to see quite a bit of that season. Alright, there's also some color coding going on here for these. Pitchers are blue. Infielders are kind of a pinkish color, or rose. Catchers, kind of a yellow, and outfielders are green. So it gives you a little bit better idea where to find guys. Now I can also find the same players by doing this. So if I punch in Sano and just hit search, or let's see, if I want to get Mauer, just hit enter. It'll go ahead and find a close facsimile of what his name is here. Alright. Okay, so anyway, in order for a player to actually play in a game, they need to be on your active roster. So they need to have a check mark in these boxes, in one of these boxes here. So if I want Caleb Thielbar to play for me, I need to put him on my team. So I need to activate him. And that's all done from this screen. Okay, there's a few other options here too. I can do a little work with the roster all at once. So I can do some auto drafting. I can automatically place players on their original teams. What that does is it removes everybody from all rosters, so every player becomes a free agent, and then systematically takes those players and puts them back on their original team. You can release all the players from all teams if you want. It does basically the same thing, but it doesn't put them back on. release all players just on this team. Auto draft to fill rosters, which is done a little bit of an analysis that goes on there, making some better selections for you. Or I can just pick one player, or have the computer pick one player, I should say. Alright, there's a way to make team reports here, so maybe I'll just go ahead and make a roster here of all the active players. So you can see I've got a list of 25. It also shows their batting and throwing side, and also what position they played and what their defensive rating is for that position. Alright, you may have noticed too, way over here on the right hand side, it's telling me a little bit more about some different tabs. So all I did really is go from the draft tab to the reports tab in order to get this done. I can print that out if I want to. It'll just print to any printer you have access to. In this case, I've got a Brother printer. That's my default if I want to, so on and so forth. I can print all teams, all their players are active only, and it just has to spin through here to make that. So once it does, you can scroll down and see all the different teams in your league. And again, I could print that. There should be a page separator here between all of them. I can see a little bit more by clicking on the print preview, and it'll go ahead and show me each page. And as I said, it'll put one roster on each page for you there. When you're done looking at that, you can either print from it or close it down, or maybe, change to landscape formatting or what have you, depending on what it is you're looking for. Alright, so that is, in a nutshell, all about the program there as far as the draft module goes. There are some works in progress here. If you look down below at the draft screen, you saw that there is a draft serpentine, number of rounds, best available, etc. The draft order eventually will be in here so that you can set that up pretty easily. At this point in time, that's not yet been completed. There is also, if we look at this, a trade option. So if you want to trade somebody, it's relatively easy to do. By the way, if I want to add somebody to a roster, I inadvertently deleted Oswaldo Arcia off the roster here. So if I want to put him back on Minnesota, which is where he should be, I simply double click on him or hit the add button, and there he goes. Now he's on this roster. If you want to take him off, you do the same thing. Just select him from the team roster, hit remove, and he will be moved on to, or I should say he becomes a free agent. But we do want Arcia on there. And let's see, I was going to show you. Yeah, if I want to trade a player, I can use the trade option, which is pretty easy to run. Let's say we want to take Arcia and trade him to Detroit. So I click the trade button. Arcia disappears off Minnesota's roster. He right now is in a little bit of state of flux. He's a free agent. But if I go ahead and find Detroit in this drop-down list, he is no longer a free agent. And now if I switch over to Detroit, I can see Arcia there. Now I don't really want him there, so I'm going to trade him back right away to Minnesota. There he is. And now if I go back to Minnesota, there's Arcia.